All right, guys, what is going on? What is good? What is good? Chat is open today. I know it's been a little while. I know it's been a while, so what's good, everyone? What's good? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. I don't know if I have too many updates for you. Maybe. It's just a t-shirt. Yeah. It's a shirt that I had on. I wanted to put the hoodie on, and I get lazy and I put it right here. It just doesn't look good slowly. That's all. It's not a pair of drawers or anything. I promise. Just a shirt. Okay? So, anyways, Willow was good. Slowly Jorks 2020, Scott, Marshall, Tordy, Felix. What a title. Oh, yeah. Yeah, only the best over here. I'm going to show you in a minute. Why it's titled that way. You already know. You already know I'm about to talk major sauce, major details. Because y'all know that's what I do, baby. Y'all know that's what I do. You like my new hat, chat? Country Club, American Country Club. You like it? I do. I'm proud. I'm proud. Found it on Amazon. What's good, Mark? Oh, you know what? Today's Market Maker Monday. That's what it should have been. But it's okay. It's okay. I wanted to switch it up. What's good, Julius? Manuel, tell us about your Instagram story. Maybe. Maybe. If you behave. There's 26 people, only 6 likes. So I don't think you guys want to know. That's what it sounds like to me. Sounds like you do not want to know. That's what it sounds like. Magical Librite did its thing live today on YouTube. Did you short Dow or was it another index? I feel like Dow had the nastiest shorts. Upon seeing the first hour of the day. I'm assuming you traded Dow. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Was good. Eric was a good capitalist. Let's go back to electronic trading hours. Electric. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling electric today. Feeling good, feeling blessed. Feeling amazing. All right. Tangerine juice will do that. Steak. Know what I'm saying? Clean eating, working out, fresh air, making money, driving a sports car, all that stuff, man, will make you feel real warm and fuzzy inside, no? Know what I mean? Wealth creatives, know what I mean? See, I told you guys the chat was open today. All right. Let's get into the business. Enough BSing around, John. Get to the business. I'm not here for your nonsense. Of course you are. You're always here for that, baby. You know you love it. You know you love it. What can you tell me about our open up here? And what can you tell me about down here? We got some important stuffs going on. Now, while you do that, I do need to tell you that some people have joined the Discord that have not connected their YouTube channel. So they are not able to, they're in the Discord, but they're not able to see anything. If that is you, you need to connect your Discord channel to your YouTube channel. It's not difficult. You go to your Discord user settings, and then you go to connections. There's all kind of social media, YouTube, Spotify, bunch of stuff. Click on YouTube and then sign in to your YouTube account. That is how you connect it. That's how Discord recognizes your membership and gives you a role. Without getting a role, you will not see anything. Thank you, Felix. We got one active person in the chat today out of 40. Cool. Felix said gapped lower. That's important. And consolidation in Asia. That is very, very important information. That is at least kind of hide some stuff here. That is at least some of the valuable information. I'll scrunch this up a little bit more because remember, I don't know, man, some bald guy on Friday came out and said, hey, there's a cluster of lows down here that the market may want to reach for. You know, couldn't have been me. Couldn't have been me. I'm all hindsight, and I never, you know what I'm saying? I never called trades in advance or anything, so it wasn't me. But whoever did, right? That was down there. That was taken again, like you said, during Asia. No problem. But look what we left behind. Now, even though the low on the right is actually lower, it's hard to tell, like when you flatten the chart. Even though that's, let's take a look, 808 to 807.25. So even 3 ticks below that is not a big deal. Bald is the new smart. Yeah, we're pinning that. Gold star for wealth. Our first non-member gold star. Congratulations. Even though this low on the right is slightly lower, that's still fine. That's still fine. Because that's still going to act like what? Support and resistance, baby. Come on. No, it's still going to act like an original consolidation. So there's still going to be liquidity at the lows, well, the lowest one probably, and below that. And obviously liquidity above it, once that gets, once price trades above that and those buy stops get triggered, then that's what creates that one-sidedness, right? Where we have liquidity below the lows. Okay? So we'll go to London is here. So London gives us a rally, a very drawn out retracement. Gross. And 830 is here. So here's our equities open. So what do you notice about that? We're still on NQ, like 15-minute time frame, right? What's the answer, chat? How far can price go below a low, or how far can price go above a high? How far? Right? More hindsight for you. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. We have, even though it's a 15-minute, you can tell right there, that's a set of equal highs. More specifically, low resistant highs. So if the market is going to take that, how far is price likely to go? Steven says imbalance or gap. Felix, says imbalance or gap. Inefficiency, basically. That's what an inefficiency is. That's the umbrella term. And an imbalance is one of them. A gap is one of them as well. So, yes. Slowly said to the next, we'll say liquidity pool or inefficiency. Well, that's why we look at all the details. Remember last week I told you the stages. I said you got to pay attention to the stages. There's like 7 stages, right? Consolidation, distribution, redistribution, manipulation, accumulation, reaccumulation, terminus, right? That's for the buy model. The sell model is the opposite. Consolidation, accumulation, reaccumulation, manipulation, distribution, redistribution, terminus, right? So if those highs were to be taken, right, what's just above that? The weekend gap. See that? Okay. Now we get a little bit more details. Okay, look at this. Look how beautiful that is, man. Look at that. Isn't that scrumptious? Isn't that scrumptious? Leave behind those lows. Don't take them. Okay. Then sweep the highs. Reach for that gap. Okay. Not what's remaining. Meaning like this up here. It didn't reach for that. Doesn't need to. And if anything, you want to see part of that left open. Man, one of my favorite songs just came on. It's going to be distracting. For me, at least. So we go higher first. And again, we have lows here. We have lows here. And we have lows down here. That's a lot of lows. Right? So then what inevitably happens? You can already tell, obviously. But there's equities launched, right? Reach for that gap. Reach the 50% of the regular trading hours. That's why those levels are there. That's what that level means, right? That gap down. And the 50% and the weekend gap overlap. Okay? Isn't that interesting? And still no indicators, baby. Just lines and boxes, dog. That's all. That's it. Lines and boxes, elements of time. That's it. So, anyway. Imbalance on the way higher. Imbalance on the way higher. Imbalance on the way lower. Okay. It comes back to basically clean up that imbalance, right? But it only goes so far as the inversion. See that? Interesting. Right? What time is that right there, too? I don't know. A lot of weird stuff happening. 8:50. Oh, that's weird. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird and strange and nonsensical? Right? 8:50. That is just so absurd, man. Okay, 8:50 to 9:10. Isn't that weird? 8:50, bang, right up. 5-minute inversion. And then lower. Okay? Now watch this. What time did we run below 24,808? What time was that? What time is it, chat? Okay, there's 9:50 right there. See that? Is there anything that's like weird about that to you? I don't know. 9:50, we trade higher above the MOP macro opening price. I'm going to get to your question in a minute, Steven. I just got to get this out of my system or I'll forget and then the stream will be over, and then I'll go, man, I forgot I was going to say something, and then I'll be mad about it. Be like, I forgot. Okay. Look at that. Trade through that up candle, 951, back into it, can't do it. Oh, 952, bloop, all the way down, bang. Like 30, 40 something points in one candle. Come on, look at that shit. 45 points. 45 points in one candle. Doink. Right in the weird time windows, right? Oh, macros don't exist. Macros don't exist. Okay. But there it is. Again. I've shown you every stream now for how long? How long, chat? How many days have you seen this? Over and over and over again. And this isn't ran by a computer. This isn't ran by some entity that clearly follows certain scripts. How does it not? How can it not? Right? Macro opening price, inversion, lower. I wouldn't really call this a shift in a state of delivery, but this to me would really just be more so of a continuation. Okay? Up candles in bearish markets should send price lower. Bang. It sends it lower. This stuff is too good. And then there's a 10-10 about right here. So that macro ended about right there. We get a little bit lower, and that's our current low day. And this is where we are now. But coming back to what I was saying, you have to know the stages. If you've never seen them, most of you have seen this already, but there's nothing like reviewing the good stuff over and over again. I just happen to never have it ready for you. So I have to scroll and find it. Okay? If you have never seen this before, okay, that's what it looks like. Consolidation, lows. We leave it, we retrace, we leave it again, we retrace, we trade higher. Something on a higher time frame. Okay? Something on a higher time frame. Okay, now watch this. Okay? I want you to look at something real quick. What's that right there? What's the date on that, chat? Somebody put it in the chat. Somebody type into the chat, what is the date on that? What's the date on that? Let me know you're paying attention. Chat's open for subscribers today. So it's open. You can ask anything you want. I would prefer to keep it trading related, but you can ask what you like. Right? But the wonderful thing about TradingView is when you take screenshots, they are time stamped, right? Well, my point is you don't even need the July or the 10th part. You don't need any of that. But my point is this was, and I've been teaching this longer than 2024, but just to prove my point, this was a screenshot that I gave you in 2024, in the middle of 2024, right? This isn't photoshopped. Okay? I can Photoshop, like, I haven't used it in years. I use Canva, but I could probably Photoshop like freckles off of somebody's face. I could probably make their teeth a little bit whiter or something like that. But there's no way that I know how to Photoshop text like that. Okay? It's in the Discord too. And all of you have this. So tell me again, right, how the markets are not controlled. How is it not ran by an algorithm when that screenshot, and that's a late one, July of 2024, and yet you're seeing the same thing in February of 2026? original consolidation. We leave it, retracement, we leave it again. Retracement, manipulation, something on a higher time frame, right? I put that in there on purpose, right? I put that in there on purpose. You see that? Higher time frame. I don't know if that's one word or two, English. All right. Higher time frame concept. That is specific. That means pick a concept on a higher time frame, right? I did that on purpose. Sunday's gap is a higher time frame concept on a 5-minute chart, or on a 15-minute chart, or an hourly chart, even the daily chart. It's a higher concept, right? That sets the high. NCE's the low risk short. We trade lower, clearly crossing 50%, back into a premium, inversion model there. Continuation lower, very short-lived, no pun intended, retracement, and then second leg distribution, and the timing aspect is perfect. Is perfect. There's no perfection in trading. Well, it keeps hitting pools of liquidity that we talk about in the same windows that we talk about. So yeah, it is. It is. I may not always have it down to the very minute. Like, I don't know if it's going to be 9:52 or 56 or 58 or even like 10:05. I don't know. Okay? I don't know. So it I guess by textbook definition, it may not be perfect. But to sit here and tell me that this stuff isn't controlled by an algorithm is absurd. It literally is absurd. How much evidence do you need? How much? How much evidence do you need? Footprint after footprint after footprint that this stuff is controlled. You know what I'm saying? And I do not know how to prove it to you in any other way. Study levels of consolidation, right? Levels of liquidity and inefficiencies. That's what the market does. We trade from what to what? Pools of liquidity to pools of liquidity. Inefficiencies to what? Inefficiencies. The 4 ways that price moves. The law still stands. It's not a theory. It's law. So what questions do you guys have so far? I know we covered market maker models a lot last week. One of them, I think it was Wednesday's live stream. You guys were like, oh, we should rewatch this, all that stuff. I said I'd leave it open for a few days, and I did, and now it's a members only one. I made it, I think on Sunday, I swapped it over to members only. But what questions do you guys have? If any. What happened to IM? They got stopped out. What do you mean? They hit stop loss, like I told you they would years ago. That's what happened. They got GG'd, I think, sometime last year. So, yeah. Turns out I know a little bit about business too, and not just trading. That's kind of cool. I ain't a genius. I ain't no genius. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a self-proclaimed genius, but I'd like to think I know things. I lost my account, brother. Everybody lost their account. I lost mine too. I was like one of the first ones. I was like, here's my 2 weeks, and they were like, okay, yoink. Yoinked all my stuff within like 2 hours. It's crazy. But guess who got the last laugh? Huh? Who got the last laugh, buddy boy? What is it the Bible says? The truth will always come to light, or something like that. It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how some of this stuff works, man. What do you think about Iran and USA include the market? You know what? That's actually a good question. And to be honest, my short answer is I don't know. Okay. Actually, that brings me over to SPY. I was going to totally forget about that. I was absolutely going to forget about SPY until you brought that up. These lows down here. I don't know if I mentioned that last week or not. I don't know. Let's just say that I didn't. But those lows have been taken, and we did leave behind some equal highs here. But here's the thing. When you look at a daily chart, right? And you look at the last like 4 to 6 months or so. Let's just go with like 137, 92 bars, 130 days. Is that 6 months? I don't know. Quick math. The issue that I have with this, it's dead. It's a dead market. Now, what I mean by that is just, to me, there is currently no institutional sponsorship. Like, to me, I'm having a hard time figuring out what smart money is behind, besides companies like Nvidia and some others. But when you look at this, right, we're still at the 680s, and that's the same price as it was 6 months back in October. You know what I mean? Versus other segments, like let's scrunch this up a little bit. You remember like when we actually got some directional movement? You know, it's like, oh, okay, yeah. We're in a phase of sponsorship, so we should continue and continue and continue. But now that we're here, what's the bias on something like that? What is the bias on something like this? We're in the middle of this range, the same range we've been in for months. You know, what do we do with that? And I think the whole Iran thing is probably part of it. I think, and I could be incorrect because I really don't investigate this stuff with a lot of intention. I mean, people send me reels that I'll look at. From what I hear is they burned a statue of Baal, 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 the golden calf statue, which that's a thumbs up in my book. You know what I mean? That's a thumbs up in my book. Okay, false idols, yeah, burn it. You know. As far as like WAR, I don't know what's going to take place. I don't know. I do think that will bring volatility to the marketplace. You know, if there is BOMBING, right? If there's some of that going on, yeah, there's probably going to be some volatility. And I think the volatility is also going to be in gold and silver as well, the same way that it has been. So I think something might happen pretty soon. Oh, you know what, Steven, I totally forgot to go to your question. I'm sorry. In the Discord, Cameron was talking about the daily open indicator. Why is that important? Can you explain? Yeah, I can. I can do that. I can do that. But you better tip well, my friend. You better tip well. I'm just kidding. You don't have to donate. What are you talking about, the John Phibbs London and New York open indicator, or are you talking about a different one? Because there are different indicators for opening price. Excuse me. There are different indicators for opening price. So what what I pay attention to, for me, the most, oh, let's go to futures. What is that? Okay. So for me, what I believe is most important when it comes to the indices is going to be equities open. And I haven't used this indicator in a long time. So that's the PM session open. And that is London open. That's equities opening range. Oh, hell. Did I get rid of it? All right, well, we'll forego that. I'll just draw it. I'll just do it manually like I've been doing for a long time. Okay, I know there's a lot going on. Yeah, I don't even know the indicators anymore. So I really don't use them. You know what I mean? I mean, they're cool. Like the Power 3 one's pretty cool too. But anyway, let me get to your question. There's multiple opening prices. So we have 11 p.m. Now I'm Central. I'm CST. Okay, so right now there's a clock on your screen at the bottom. It says 12:36. It's about to say 12:37. That's what time it is for me in Central Time. So when I say 11 p.m., what that means is midnight New York, midnight East Coast. Okay? That is a reference point. It means we want to look for shorts above the open, or we want to look for longs below the open. Okay? That's one of them. New York midnight, or midnight New York, whatever you want to call it. Okay? You also have London. Okay? You have London open. Now I would really pay attention to that if I was trading London, especially for currencies, or 7 a.m. if I was trading currencies. Same thing. We want to see the opening price of that. And then for me, equities is at 8:30. Okay? So there's just so many markups on here that it's starting to get pretty crazy. But midnight New York, London, equities open. So you can see how equities open and us trading higher, right? That is a good short. Now, if you can't short above old highs, if you can't short gaps because you're afraid, or it's scary, because it is, and even a lot of times I still don't do that. Okay, I'll wait for the high to be set and then get in on either the next candle or the next retracement. Okay, so ideally we want to short above equities open, above London's open, and above midnight New York. So when you have all three of them, you're really, really at a price extreme. Okay, still no indicators. You don't need an RSI or a MACD or a whatever. Okay, you don't need any of that stuff to tell you, hey, we're above midnight New York, we're above London, and we're above equities open here. When we are heavily bearish, it is not going to stay above the open for very long. Sometimes you'll see we don't even trade above the open. Sometimes we just yoink lower and never get back above the open. That's a heavy market. But I would say probably 95% of the time or more, we're going to either go lower first to go higher, or we're going to trade above the open to go lower. Okay? It's a simple PO3 concept, power of 3. The name behind that is accumulation, manipulation, distribution. Okay? So again, it's just an idea. And it is the same as it relates to this. Okay? This candle represents whatever higher time frame. It could be a 15-minute, it could be an hourly, it could be a session, it could be a day, it could be a week, whatever. And this depiction is something on a smaller time frame, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15-second, 15-minute, whatever, 2-minute chart. Okay. And the idea is the session opens, trades higher to go lower. And these retracements in the opposing direction are entry opportunities to go lower, or the inverse. If we want to be bullish, it's the opposite. Open lower to go higher. So you can either buy the low or wait for the low to be set. We get a shift in a steady delivery, either one of those two, you know, inversion, something like that. And then the next retracement is going to be a good opportunity to go long. So that's why we utilize that. So the opening price again is a reference point. Does that make sense? Okay, let's go to micros, because that really cleans up everything here. Okay, so it's fairly simple, right? We're above midnight New York to go lower. London, same thing. We're above London to go lower. And then equities, we're above equities to go lower. So in certain cases like this, oh shit. There we go. In certain cases like this, when we're above all three, that's usually a good indication that we're going to go lower. It's not all that you need. It's one of the pieces of the puzzle. You still need time, price, and context. But again, these are reference points. So does that answer your question? What do you think about the lows on NQ and ES on a lower time frame? I don't think we've made a low of day. I mean, we might. Today is heavily bearish, but I just feel like these lows are like, the market doesn't make lows like this. This looks terrible. Again, I could be wrong and we could trade higher, but I'm done for today. I'm not interested in anything else today. Do you know why the daily candle opens during Asia, even though the next day hasn't rolled over for us? No, I don't know. Okay. I know a lot of things, Chad. I know a lot of things, but I don't know everything. Okay. Why they take measurements from certain spots and not, I don't know. Why did we have price action on Monday in electronic hours on President's Day, but we had no Monday candle on TradingView? You know, I don't know. I just simply don't know. You could probably ask TradingView. They're the ones that provide the data, so I'm sure they know. Or they'll just tell you to go screw yourself, like they did for me. I told them like 5 years ago to do this with the box. Y'all know how you can add the midline to the box? I asked them to do that like 5 years ago. And they said, well, there's not really a high demand for that. And then like 2 or 3 years ago, they came out with this. I was like, wow, you guys are fucking... I'm always years ahead of everybody else. It's insane. It gets annoying too. I'm sick of it. Sick of being first, chat. Sick of being the trendsetter, chat. I'm just kidding. But no, I really was ahead by years with that. But it's okay. Yeah, what other questions you guys got? What else do you got? ES, same thing. ES, same thing. This looks not good. That doesn't look like a low to me. That looks like what they're trying to do is create a higher high to get people thinking that we've, you know, shifted the trend, right? Like, oh, now we have an uptrend. Okay. So I think people are trying to long, right? Let's do the RR tool instead. You know, people could try to be long and then put their stop at the low. That's what I think is happening right now. That's what I think's Oh yeah, there's a 1 to 3. That's what I think is happening, and I feel like anybody that has a stop here is fixing to get a new one. So, but yeah, again, I could be wrong. That could actually work out, but I don't think so. I do not think so. So, all right, well, look, chat. If that's it, then we'll go ahead and cut it here. Brief reminder that this is the last week of the month. February is a very short month, and equally so, How Successful People Think is also a very short book. You should be able to finish it this week. If you have not, you're fired. And you're wrong. Simple as that. So catch up on your reading. Catch up on videos you haven't watched yet. Review your notes. Study. You know what I'm saying? Study this stuff. Repetition is key. Drop a like on the stream if you guys got some value. It would I'd appreciate that. What will be the next book? Felix is in the Discord. Felix, you're in my Discord, and you're asking me what the next book is? This is what we do. This is what we do, chat. We get on stream and troll. We get on stream and troll. You know, sometimes you guys just piss me off. Obviously, I'm joking, but there's the link to the Substack. What is the next one? So if you guys have not checked this out, you should, and all the hyperlinks are here too. But January was How to Read a Book by Adler and Van Doren. This month is How Successful People Think by John Maxwell, the GOAT. I met him back in December. He has more books coming out this year. I'm getting all of them. I'm getting all of his work. I don't care. So March is going to be Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. Next month is going to be Stillness is the Key by Ryan Holiday. So, Felix, that's the next one. Okay? Stillness is the key. Then we'll move into meditations. I'm excited for all of them, but I'm excited for those. 48 Laws is going to be very fun. We're spending 2 months on that. May and June, we're spending 2 months on that. The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, Practice of Groundedness, Clear Thinking. And then we get into Epictetus, Morgan Housel, and we end the year with Seneca. We end the year with Letters from a Stoic. Yeah, Willow, I thought the same thing. I was like, we can't do 48 laws in 30 days. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. So I was like, you know what? We'll just spend 2 months on that. And we'll, if you if you goobers are still here in 2027, if we end up doing Laws of Human Nature, that'll equally be 2 months as well. So we'll see. You know what I mean? That's a year. That's a year and some change from now. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So y'all be good. Be blessed. I will see you tomorrow on Tuesday, the 24th, right here. Same time, same place. And of course, same price.